Well, there have been new developments since the year 2011, and at that time, I was registering complaint for the public regarding the fraud imposed upon me by the district attorney's office in Brooklyn. Now, first of all, since that time, on July 24, 2014, I received this letter I'm holding in my hand from the City of New York Department of Investigations. Dear Mr. Mancuso, the New York City Department of Investigation received your recent letters concerning the Kings County District Attorney's Office. After careful review of the information provided, we have determined that the issues raised would be more appropriately addressed by the agencies currently involved in a review of that office. Please be advised that your allegations have been forwarded to the Public Integrity Division of the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, as well as the Public Integrity Bureau of the New York State Office of the Attorney General. Thank you for bringing this matter to our attention. Now, primarily what this matter is in regard to it's in regard to the fact that this indictment I hold in my hand, this is a certified copy of the front page with the genuine signature of the foreman of the number 1 October 1976 presiding grand jury. This is a genuine copy of the signature of the foreman. My indictment, which I hold in my hand, is indictment 34-1476, and the signature is a forgery. This is indictment number 34-1576, charging 2 other people, which my indictment had been tried with. And the signature on this indictment is a forgery too. Now, back in 2011 and before that, District Attorney Hines was well aware that these indictments were forgeries, the indictments on which I was tried and prosecuted. He had copies of these indictments, he had the original indictments, and he ignored all of my requests for him to examine them. During 2013, I submitted legal application to former administrative Kings County Judge Barry Kamens, raising this very issue, and I provided him with copies of these indictments. Unbeknown to me, while my case was pending before Justice Kamens, he was operating behind the scenes as a campaigner in District Attorney Hines' election campaign. Unbeknown to me, he was advising District Attorney Hines how to run his office and how to prevent exposure of wrongdoing within the Kings County District Attorney's office. During July of 2013, Justice Kamens issued a decision vilifying my claims that District Attorney Hines had been covering up grand jury records which disclosed that the grand jury that was sitting in regard to these forged indictments had never voted these indictments. That was all concealed. And at that time, as I stated, Justice Kamens was operating as an arm of the district attorney's office. Now, during June of 2014, Justice Kamens and District Attorney Hines were brought to task by a report issued by the New York City Department of Investigation. Hines was accused of all sorts of fraud. Kamens was accused of actually running the office while he was a judge for Hines, disclosing that they were friends for 40 years. In this envelope, I have a package of emails sent between Hines and Kamens, and this was during the time Kamens was sitting on my case. And what they show is that he was operating as an arm for the prosecution in Brooklyn. He was Hines' mentor, and he was his campaign manager, all of which was illegal. During December of last year, 2013, I submitted a proposed motion to have my conviction vacated on the basis of these indictments forged, on the basis of my innocence, on the basis of the district attorney having concealed evidence favorable to my defense and favorable to my claims of innocence. And what Judge Kamens did in the July 26, 2013 letter was not repeated, but his counsel, Kerry Ward, phoned me on my cell phone and assured me that Justice Kamens understood what I was claiming and that he's given it the most vital attention, and that he took very seriously what I was claiming, and that justice would be done. In a second phone call, Kerry Ward, again, she told me that Justice Kamens was moving to another branch of the judiciary, and that the matter was turned over to Justice Patricia DeMango, who was slotted to be the next administrative judge in Brooklyn. I wrote Justice DeMango a letter dated January 2nd, 2014. She replied to me in a letter dated January 10th, 2014, stating that she was investigating this matter and that she would get back to me. The next thing I knew was Justice DeMango was going to be leaving the bench on March 31st, 2014, to take a job in Brooklyn regarding a TV show. I phoned counsel for Justice DeMango, and I was told that she would handle my case before she departed the bench. In any event, Justice DeMango resigned her judgeship on March 31st, 2014, without notifying me and without taking any further action regarding my case. Thereafter, I contacted the incoming administrative judge, Matthew Demick, and I was told not to phone there anymore. Don't send any more letters. There was no paperwork there regarding my case, and he did not have any matters regarding my case, and that Justice Domingo did not leave any of my paperwork in the administrative judge's office. And then I called a second time and was told, don't phone here anymore. Don't send any more correspondence. And that's where it stood. Now, my attorney, David M. Palmieri, submitted paperwork to Judge Diemick dated October 23rd, 2014, and an affirmation supporting my position regarding the indictment forgery and the cover-up of the indictment forgery by Hines and other members of his staff. And we are waiting. Now, known to Judge Diemick and his counsel, I am a cancer patient, and I need to have this matter resolved as soon as possible, because nobody knows what the outcome is going to be, although it looks promising at this point. At present, I have action pending against Justice Kamens in front of the New York State Division of the New York State Commission on Judicial Conduct. They have written me. It's been turned over to the committee. And what I'm saying here, I raised in these matters to the commission. Now, another noteworthy matter is that nobody in Brooklyn wants to tell me where these grand jury records are archived. I know they're archived. I've asked what kind of policy and procedure do they have for retaining these records. District Attorney Hines, in regard to a civil rights lawsuit I initiated against him in the U.S. District Court, admitted 3 times that these records exist and are sealed by New York law. In a letter to me dated October 14, 2014, Judge Diemick, while ignoring Hines's admissions that these records exist, told me that he was relying on a decision by Justice Angie Feldman dated November 5th, 2001, that these records no longer exist. However, Judge Diemick realizes and knows that Justice Feldman, in making that declaration, was relying on a false affirmation dated October 22nd, 2001, issued by Assistant District Attorney Caroline R. Donhauser. And yet he disregarded and did not mention in his letter to me that Hines had, during 2008, 2009, admitted that these records exist. And where we stand now, it is the question I pose now to the public. Is there a future for justice, fair play, and honesty in the judiciary in Brooklyn? All I have been requesting is investigation, which the New York City Department of Investigation took seriously, and which the U.S. Attorney's Office has taken seriously, and the FBI has taken seriously. I've been contacted by the FBI and questioned. They can't tell me which direction their investigation is going, but it is ongoing. That I know. The purpose of me coming to the public is the public has to know what these people did to me in Brooklyn so that they can be prevented from doing it to somebody else in the future. And that's what this statement here is about. Now, I served 32 years in prison based upon a criminal offense I had no knowledge of, had nothing to do with. I appeared before the parole board 10 times, and I was hit with 2 years the first 9 times, and the 10th time they released me because they believed my statements that I was innocent the 10th time. Now, where is justice in Brooklyn? Who are these judges in Brooklyn who are supposed to administer even-handed justice? This new district attorney, what about him? Now, everything I've read, there's a press release by him dated February 21st, 2014, and in it he states one of the factors are they are going to seriously investigate all serious constitutional violations. And yet, in regard to my case, they say they don't entertain any complaints regarding constitutional violations. And Ms. Edelstein, who is involved with the conviction review unit at the current district attorney's office, had the audacity to tell me that the press release by District Attorney Thompson, in which he states that constitutional violations will be investigated, it's just for the public consumption. It means nothing. Now, fortunately, when she told me this on the phone, I had my cell phone audible. And Attorney David M. Palmieri was present at my house, and he heard her say that to me on the phone. Now, Judge Diemick has a copy of an affirmation by David Palmieri in which he swears to this. Now, as I said, is there a future for justice and fair play in Brooklyn? Does the public want to know what was done to me? And that's what I ask. And where do we go from here?